All right, what's up, everyone? We have a really exciting guest on this episode of Too Stressed. Sorry, I forgot. I just got so excited
It's
about our
it's so
guest.
exciting. I'm super excited for this one.
So we have a very special guest. We have Rose Namajunas, our former Tough 20 castmate, former strawweight champion, and new um, flyweight badass contender. And we're bringing her on the stage right now.
Hey.
Yee.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
How you feeling after the fight? Anything sore? Anything like pop up?
Yeah. I got a couple like I got a scratch. I don't know where this came from. It was like a weird scratch across my eye, but other than that, like I don't know what it was. Like the past month, my shoulders have just been like super sore after each sparring session.
Mm.
I don't know if it's just like you know, putting on a little more size, like throwing punches. It's just like more weight behind on my shoulders, so my shoulders are sore, and a little bit sore in my legs and stuff. But overall, I'm just happy to be, yeah, no injuries as far as I know. So yeah.
Nice. All that brawn you got. You got those big old Phil Davis shoulders now, you know?
Yeah, I've been working on it. Yeah, still got more chiseling to do, but yeah, it's getting there.
So,
Nice.
what does that kind of preparation look like moving up a weight class for you?
Yeah, I guess like I I don't know why, but because I feel like you can do it either way. Like you can either try to put on size and then like adjust, or you can just not cut the weight. And I feel like I kind of did a hybrid of both. Like I didn't put on as much size as I was cutting from straw weight to make straw weight, but I put on probably about like I would say you know, 5 to 6 pounds of like, extra weight, and then just doing a smaller cut, but I'm still cutting. Um, so yeah, it's been a process. Like, I think just keeping up the speed has been something that, I think I thought that I was doing well for this camp, but in the fight, I just felt like, yeah, it didn't quite translate the way it was in training, but I overall I felt very strong. Like the grappling exchanges, I was like, I could definitely tell the size that I put on it was advantageous for me there. So it's adjusting, and it's something new that's a nice challenge for me because I think it's really important to just have not, just to stay interested.
Did you
Sure.
feel like you had an advantage just because you decided to commit to the weight class as opposed to Rebus kind of bouncing back and forth?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was definitely an advantage on my side. I will say that I think I could notice that, and maybe she had a slight advantage in the like maybe in the speed or like whatever, like a lack of maybe muscle fatigue. I don't know how she was feeling, but because it didn't seem like she was cutting that weight, so like it just seemed like she was a straw weight fighting, without a weight cut, which is I think can be advantageous in a certain universe, but definitely on but but her being a grappler, or at least having, I think a big part of her game plan was, one, her output. She definitely she's a volume, striker, but I do think that she was planning on being able to control me in the grappling more, and I think that was probably the biggest surprise, if I could guess like what was going on in her mind, because yeah, there was I felt like way more stronger in that area.
It seemed very seamless. Anytime that she came in on you and attempted her throws, you had an answer for it right away. And it just seemed so well timed. And maybe it was, strength was a factor, but your timing just really looked impeccable in those moments.
Oh yeah, thank you. I yeah the And that's another thing too is yeah, that's the the head toss is always something that, like, in the past would kind of catch me off guard every once in a while, because you always hear like just get the underhooks and stuff, but then, like, sometimes, like, earlier on my career, like, there wasn't an emphasis on like hip position and like making sure your hips aren't or making sure they're in front or whatever. And I know the one hip toss that she got, or the like kind of head and arm throw that she got me with, I was holding her up against the cage, and I had my right leg in front, and then like, I don't know what made me like, I was good there, and I was like, okay, I know I have this underhook, so I know she can like go for it right now, but I still have my foot in front, or my knee blocking her knee. And then as soon as I like switched my leg, it was like, boom, so she's really good at that. She obviously, she has a good judo background. So I definitely did my homework on that. And even, and whenever it comes to like, takedowns and stuff, we always talk about like the before, during, and after. Cause it's like, stuff happens in a fight. So it's like, okay, if she does take me down, how am I getting out of this scarf hold? You know what I mean? Like, and so, yeah, I felt like every scenario kind of played out the way that I practiced,
Nice.
Were you surprised that she kept going back to those same techniques that you were beating her at?
A little bit, I definitely, I was like,
no shade, just
it's an interesting tactic. She'll never see it coming this time.
Especially the spinning back fist definitely caught me off guard. Like that was like, I don't know if it was just like, I don't know. Cause I know if I'm throwing a spinning back fist, unless if it's like really smooth, like there's a good chance I'm just like in desperation mode at that point, or out of ideas. So I don't know. I think it was just, I think, I just kind of felt a little bit discouragement from her, like, and maybe it was just like, cause she did talk about, finishing me in the first, and then it changed to the third round. And you know what I mean? I think she was just really like hyped up cause it was her first main event, and I've been there, I know what it's like, it's just like, you think you're like ready for all that pressure and stuff, and you don't really feel it, but you've never felt it before. So you don't even know what you're feeling, so it's like, so I definitely, I was a little bit surprised, but I kind of knew she was going to be I actually thought she was going to be a little more chaotic than she was, to be honest. Like I thought she was going to come out there and just like run straight at me, so, yeah, but yeah, she stayed pretty composed, I guess, I was hoping to get the finish, but I also, I definitely like I was also dealing with a lot of pressure myself too. So yeah, it was yeah, man.
Well, I felt like you dealt with the pressure really well. There was that one moment in the third round where she got you down with that head throw, got on your back, and you just kind of held the choke hand and just was like, all right,
I'm like,
just a few more seconds. Yeah. Like, yeah, we're good here.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was kind of your demeanor the entire fight. If something started to look like it wasn't going your way, you either reacted really well or got the reversal or what have you. Did you ever feel like you were too composed in there, like too calm, too in the moment and zen, or did you like the way that you handled it? Because I mean,
somewhat, yeah.
I think that fighting safe is the best way for a fighter, especially someone who's been in as many wars as you, someone who's like, taking a lot of risk with your notoriety. So how did you feel about that whole performance?
Yeah, it was weird because I think it was really psychological for me because I was coming off of 2 losses. I've never felt that before, and I had nightmares leading up to the fight that I lost the third time, and it was like multiple like recurring dreams like that. So I was like, I definitely was and it was weird because I was trying not to act like it was like affecting me that much, or I was trying not to pay attention to it, but obviously my subconscious was going crazy. And so I think I I guess I'm trying to think, like I was really composed, but yeah, you're right. Like there's like a certain level of like ignition or like a little bit of a spark that like cause like even right before the fight started, like I'm shadowboxing, like I shadowbox like, a quick combination. I'm like, why didn't I throw all my combinations like that? And I knew I was in really good shape. Like I was even in better shape for this fight than like for like, I just felt like the anxiety kind of held me back a little bit and had me breathing a little heavier than I should have been. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, but I think after getting this one out the way, getting my confidence back, I feel like I'll be able to let go a little bit better, you know, the next time until something else maybe happens. But you know, I believe as of right now, the way I'm feeling, it's like, whew, that was a big, like, you know, weight off of my shoulders. Cause I knew, like, Amanda's really good. Like, her skills are good. And she's fought good opponents as well. And I just knew that my fight IQ with the experience that I have is just, I knew it was just going to be too much for her. And I knew my skills are better, but it was like, am I going to do it? Like, is something going to happen? Is there going to be, you know what I mean? Is there going to be something outside of my control, you know? And it's like, I guess you can't worry about those things, but you know, you kind of do still.
Yeah. No, I think Rivas presents a lot of weird problems too. I like to, yes, no,
her rhythm is really, it's very unique. It's a very unique rhythm.
Yeah.
So I like to joke that you ever see Me, Myself, and Irene? And there's a scene where Jim Carrey is like getting ready to fight. That's what her stance and motion looks like before she throws something. And then she throws something and the technique is crisp. But before that, she has you looking at every piece of her aside from what she's about to throw. So I think that that in itself is gonna throw you off your game. But what you explained is me before every sparring. I'll shadow box, I'll throw all the cool combos I want to land in sparring, and then I throw jabs, you know.
Dude, for real. Yeah, it's a different thing when you're under the lights, right? Like, you can have the best, and that's the thing. My camp was like, you know, really, really good, like pretty much a perfect camp. And you know, so, and even the fight week was really awesome too. I think it just, I think it's just you know, losing to Carla and coming back and like, and just all that, like, psychological, like, what, and then moving up, and then like having, and then losing again, but still kind of in my mind having that excuse of, well, I messed up my pinky. And then it was like, you know, but I still was like, oh, but I almost won still, you know, but I have to acknowledge, like, I have to take responsibility still, you know. So there's like all kinds of, you know, weird mind games that you like have to overcome. And but yeah, I mean, yeah, we got it done.
No, and it was a great performance. When you say that, you know, you have trying to put on weight, does that mean that you're staying at flyweight, or do you have a desire to kind of go back and forth?
Yeah, I want to stay here because I did a lot of work to get to this point. And now, just like, even just when I cut this last time, I was just thinking to myself, like where I started the cut at, like, or I shouldn't say when I started cutting the water, not like the food and stuff. I was like, I was already feeling skinny, and then I'm like, man, this is where I would be like just walking around at for flyweight. So it's like, you know, just trying to comprehend going back down there, like, for the right price. If they throw me a bag, I'll go down. But you know what I mean? Like, other than that, it's and not just that, like, physically, like, because it's possible, you know, I could do all the things, but you know, I already have 2 wins over Weili, and everybody's like, well, you could just, you know, she's the champ, why don't you just fight her again? It's like, well, you know, it's kind of complicated, because, like, I mean, you know, I even just said this earlier today in the interview. It's like, honestly, the second time fighting her was a lot tougher than the first. So, you know, just getting motivated for that, it would have to be something like a really sweet deal. Not just that, but you know, if now that I won this fight, you know, because going into this fight, there was still like I knew that I, like, becoming 2 division champion is a goal of mine, and is something that if I have the opportunity, I'm going to try to do that, you know, because, like, it's a very rare opportunity. But with the win now, it's like, okay, this is realistic, you know, and so I can actually make a run for this. So I have to, like, focus all on that. And if I, you know, accomplish that, then, you know, we can revisit, like I said, if there's a sweet deal. And you know what I mean, then that's cool. Or, you know, if Weili wanted to come up or something, and she, you know, runs through the division and there's nobody for her to fight, then cool, come up to 125. That would be awesome. Or, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that Pat was saying that, like, you know, I have 2 wins over her. She should want to try to beat me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. So to me, that's what it's about. But I get it. You know, it's like, it seems like that would be like the no brainer is to just you know, just the person that's a champ, you beat him twice, and I'm the only one to beat her twice. So, you know, why not just do it again? But it's a little harder than that than it would seem, and two, it's just like I just feel like I have such a big opportunity here, bigger, to be able to be say I'm 2 division champion than to just say I'm 3-time strawweight champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood. And that was the specific catalyst for you wanting to go up?
Yeah,
be...
well, sort of. I mean, so when I first got to the UFC, I had written all these like career goals and like, you know, financial goals and all these things, but the last thing on my list was 2 division champion. And so I've achieved everything else so far that I've like sort of, well, I guess the concrete goals that I had, there's a couple other crazy ones that I'm like, nah. But for the most part, like that's the last thing that I have to accomplish for me to feel like, you know, I'm complete with my career. And yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm setting out to do, you know?
Yeah, get all the trophies.
Yeah.
Is there anyone, do you think, that you think can throw you off of that goal right now, or not throw you off? That sounds negative, but who do you feel like is the toughest match
Like
in
a
the top
challenge.
5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of I mean, there's a lot of really interesting talent in the flyweight division right now. I'm terrible with like names because I'm still getting used to. I noticed the faces, but like the 3 people that I like had my eye on, especially like leading into this fight, and then, you know, thinking about climbing up, is I'll be watching the Manon and Aaron fight. I think that's a very interesting fight. I already fought Manon, and so, you know, the winner of that seems very interesting. Or Macy Barber looked really good in her last performance as well, and I know she wants to fight for the title, so so she's right up there. So yeah, and then I know there's like a couple other like top 10 girls that are very good. I can't recall their names. Like there's this one Brazilian girl, I think she kicks really fast, and she's really like quick, you know. It's like she's a really interesting, you know, fight as well. But yeah, but those are like the 3 ones that are kind of like, you know, in my mind.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be fighting anyone whose name you can't recall. They're gonna be the ones that people know.
All know
yeah. I'm still learning.
Oh, that's funny. Who do you have in the Manon versus Blanchfield fight? Do you have a winner?
Yeah. So I've been leaning towards Erin Blanchfield, but I do think it's very capable, or Manon is very capable of, you know, she has some decent power. So I think she could catch her with something. If she doesn't catch her, I see Erin just kind of pushing the pace and maybe Manon tiring out a little bit. Unless if she learned from our fight, because I kind of felt like in the last round she was starting to fade away, you know. But that's also a 3-round fight, so maybe she's just preparing for 3 rounds, and, you know, maybe she'll be more, you know, prepared for these 5 rounds. But the way that Erin Blanchfield is just like, you know, just her determination and her persistence, her pace that she sets is, I don't know if she's been in a 5-round fight before or not, but yeah, so it'll be interesting. But I'm leaning towards Erin.
Yeah, I think it's the first for both of them, because I think her last one was Talia Santos, and that was like a barn burner from beginning to end. And she weathered the storm. And it's interesting that Talia's gone now. What do you think about that? She left the UFC, and now she just announced that she's in the PFL tournament.
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually thought I was gonna like I was preparing myself to, like, because she was definitely one of the people that I was like, the names that I remembered. And
that has to feel good when you're in Rose's list of flyweights that are worth remembering.
Okay. No, but yeah, no, I definitely would have my eye on her for sure. And but yeah, then it was like, oh, I was expecting to possibly get matched up with her at some point, and yeah, to see her leave it definitely was kind of random. I thought, you know, because she was a good prospect. I thought, she's a big, strong, grappler who, yeah. I almost feel like she could be a 35er, like she's kind of big, but yeah. So I mean, I wish her all the best, I guess, yeah, that would have been cool to be matched up with her too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a bigger girl right now? Like, do you do you
I
walk into
do.
a room with some swagger now? Like your arms don't bend anymore, or how you feeling in this bigger frame? Like, I want to know because I went through the
Yeah.
whole process too, putting on weight for straw
Yeah.
weight. I used to walk around at like 115, and then
Yeah.
I started realizing that was dumb. And then started putting on weight, and then I swear like I'm the biggest person even though I'm
Yeah.
still smaller than a lot of people. You just have this like swagger about you. Do you
Yeah.
feel that now?
I do. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. Like when you put on, like when you notice like a new like size of your muscle, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Like,
I,
wait a second.
yeah, you know what I mean. So obviously, like it has to translate because like I was always used to just being, a string bean and just people being surprised by my strength all the time. But now it's like, I'm actually, I could like it's even more now. So but there is times where it's like I think my body was going through so many changes that like every once in a while I'll be like, man, I'm chubby. Or like, you know so yeah, I mean it's cool, it's something to get used to, as well, like, just different sizes of things, and certain, I think it just took some time to like kind of get used to it, but yeah, you're right, like I do feel like a little more confidence, having a little bigger size. Yeah.
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 I bet Pat likes the extra weight, you know.
I know, right?
Coach Bay is always about the extra booty after the
Yeah.
weight cut. Like, hey, it's still there. Check
No,
that out.
for real. I'm definitely like, yeah, because sometimes when you're cutting weight, like, and you're all skinny, you're like, damn, where'd my butt go? I, I don't have that problem
It's
right
like,
now, so it's
Mine
nice.
looks very, very sad.
oh, you still got a
No,
handful
just
though.
come
I
on
know.
up. Let's go.
I've had to grab it.
So sad. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yank her out of the tub by the butt cheek. Like, come on. You
Oh my
got
god.
this.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, especially too, like, Pat don't have to feel so bad for eating so much all the time.
Does
But
he
yeah,
ever though? What is that like?
yeah, nah, he don't feel bad. Yeah, but
I
no,
don't call
we
that shaking the cage.
yeah,
You're
no,
like just getting ready, getting the dog ready to fight, just torturing
yeah,
them with pizza and ice
yeah.
cream.
I mean, shoot, I've always had like a pretty decent appetite, but yeah, this is it's been and now it's cool too because now that I'm adjusted more, I remember being at strawweight and like I didn't really eat breakfast ever, so
Mm.
now it took me a while, like I would like to, when I knew I was moving up, I decided like I'm just gonna eat as much as I can and just get as fat as I can and then turn this
See,
all into
I did
muscle.
that and I got really fat.
Yeah, no, it sucks. It's definitely like, ooh, you know. but but yeah, it's like the part of the process, and then like in order to put on some muscles, like you gotta have some fat, So and that was the other thing too, is like I had to really like just realize that, the like just having a little more fat doesn't mean you're not like you're not in shape, you know what I mean, like because
Mm.
usually it's like I judge myself based on that, so I don't know, so that was definitely like an adjustment period, but seeing John Jones make that transition to heavyweight, it was, because he had mentioned that too, and it was like, okay, I don't feel so like, bad about that, but yeah,
He
it's
doesn't
crazy
need those
though.
abs to be a world champ.
Yeah, you did
Yeah, right.
not look you did not
Yeah.
look like John Jones.
Yeah, we didn't go down to heavyweight, but
Mm-mm.
yeah.
I did want to rub his belly when I saw him. I was like, "Yo, you a
Yeah.
huggy bear now."
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, he
uh,
got big.
yeah, yeah, but it worked for him. He had that muscle to throw around. And
Yeah.
one thing I always notice when I put on weight too is just like I'm hitting harder. I just feel
Oh
like
yeah.
like a bully almost. Have you been feeling that in like training and in the fight as well?
Yeah, and so that was kind of something that like I said, that was one of the things that we had worked on this camp, because I knew I was hitting harder for sure. But like I was working this camp to be quicker and to like throw more combinations and body head and like, just kind of being more, having more volume and stuff. But it didn't, like, I actually felt like I took a step backwards, which is from the last fight, which like I felt like I put more volume. I don't know, it's weird, but I mean, it could be because of Amanda, just like her volume that she was putting out, or it could just be, I don't know if it was just like, I don't know, like I felt, yeah, I felt a little bit off balance sometimes too. So, that's something that I'm going to have to like make adjustments to. But I definitely felt like the power was there. It's just like, if I could have just put 2, 3 together, like put more combinations together, I felt like I could have definitely, found that finish or whatever. But yeah, it's just stuff to work on,
Thanks.
Absolutely. So what are you doing to celebrate? Are you already like thinking about the next fight, trying to get into it, or are you going to take a little bit of time and enjoy your victory?
Yes,
All of it.
Yeah, a little bit, I'm gonna just sit here and just like, after this, I'm probably gonna like just watch some TV and just chill out, and then watch some documentaries or movies or something, and then let me see. Yeah, I want to check on my shoulders, because I don't know if like something's wrong with them, or it's just like, I don't know. Like I said, maybe
Just
it's just
hitting too hard.
You're
yeah.
just too big, too big and
Yeah.
strong.
Just too slow, too powerful.
But yeah, so get those checked out, and then I have some projects I want to do on the house, and then basically, so Pat is training Alonzo Menafield as well, so
Oh, yeah.
he gets in town pretty soon, so we'll be like helping him with that camp, and then also JJ Aldridge fights the same night, March 11th, so I'll try to be helping her as much as possible with that fight. And in the meantime, it would be cool to think about. I want to say like maybe July or August would be cool to return. But yeah, I'll be back into training really soon. If not like this week maybe, and just kind of getting things together, because I ain't got no time to waste. Like I'll do a little celebration or something like that, but nothing too crazy. I want to just get some, I still got a lot of work to do,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned like you had a really rough couple of years. Were you just talking about fighting in general, or was there outside stuff? And you don't have to talk about it if you don't feel like it, but I was just curious if you felt like going in detail now that the fight's over.
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely a lot of stuff. Well, so number one, I had, it was a huge maturing process for me to take in my grandmother. She's 86 years old, and she's Lithuanian, and very broken English. So I had
The one
to,
that does this.
So actually, no, it was the other one.
Oh, okay. That's the
Yeah.
one story I remember from the Tough House. You talking about your grandma
Yeah.
with the fist.
Sure, yeah. I mean, she'll give you the finger though. Sometimes she'll be, but yeah, I guess they kind of both do that in a way. But yeah, she's like the more like petite one, like she's just like, she's always worried about stuff, like that's kind of where I get my like anxiety from somewhat. Like once after taking care of her, it's like, oh, I get where I get all of my all my craziness from. But she's doing really good, and it's just different when you're taking care of somebody. It's like, oh, okay, like the fight life is we're so selfish, we have to be selfish, so that was like a huge adjustment period. And then like just practicing Lithuanian, like just the language barrier, let alone like an elderly person, and like all that stuff. It was a lot of adjustment, so we had to like buy this house to get more space, and that was a whole adjustment period. And then just little different training situations as well. Yeah, and I'm trying to think. There's a bunch of other stuff. Well, I just like I really I kind of had some just like spiritual revelations on certain things, and like just got really, so I ended up getting rebaptized and like kind of went on this whole journey, diving deep into that. And so, yeah, it all, it was a big growing period. And it wasn't like, I wouldn't say it was like a dark time in my life, like, but it was just a lot of stuff going on. I mean, there was a little bit of personal stuff that kind of like, you know, maybe I won't go into too much detail, but that was sort of like a smaller part of that whole process. Like everything else was just more like life situations changing, you know, and it was good changes, but it was still just like, okay, you know, I'm not in my normal routine. Like I have to rethink, how do I structure, you know, my day to day kind of a thing. So that was like a challenge in, like just getting back into a rhythm, I guess, because before my grandmother coming, my life was like very routine. It was like, okay, get up and run and do this. Like I had my routine super like structured, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy how just a little tiny different thing can just throw your entire world off. And then those
Yeah.
are big life changes, you know, finding kind of being reborn again and then also bringing in another family member. Those are two big things. How much
Yeah.
do you think your spirituality is kind of fueling you right now? Because you seem very holy roly right now, and I'm not judging. Like it's awesome. I think it's
Thank
really
you.
great when people find that, because it's hard to, I feel like, live in this world and still believe in something.
Yeah.
So like, can you tell me about how you came to that, if you feel like
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
it?
yeah, you're right about all that. I mean, definitely. So like, I always had like, you know, like seeds of faith were planted into me, like when I was a little kid. You know, just kind of growing up into, you know, like my Lithuanians are culturally very like spiritual, but it's kind of a weird spirituality because they're like, they come from like pagan roots, but they're like very Catholic. So they just kind of like mix the two, and it's, you know, but they, you know, so it's kind of weird and unique. But ever since I was a kid, I was raised, you know, Christian, and but it was, I didn't quite, I was sort of a baby in that, and I walked away from it, not walked away, but I kind of like drifted from the path, let's say. I would say like earlier in like the beginning of the UFC career, and things got really dark. You know, I got really into like, you know, just uh, lots of drugs. You know, lots of drinking and just way too much. Yeah, just like too crazy living for a minute there, and I don't know, like comparatively like to other people, I'm sure it's just like whatever, but it just, in that period in my life, it was just a little wild. And then I had a moment where I was like, oh wow, I've let so much darkness just kind of surround me, and and I didn't realize it. And then I had like a like uh I basically got on my knees and was just like, God help me, you know, like what am I doing? And then from that point on, it was a steady progression. Like it took me a while to get to this point. But it was just like little things, kind of like my perspective just started to melt, like, or shift a little bit at a time, and I started to understand things a little deeper. And then I actually started to get into my word and really like trying to just break it up into pieces and like actually try to understand it. And then I got to this point where it was like, yeah, I want to actually be about it, instead of just like, you know, claiming certain labels or whatever, but actually just like be changed for real. And so, and my desires changed too. Like it's crazy how like I had this like, you know, and maybe it's just maturity or whatever, but like that 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 desire for like fleshly things, or just to like kind of wow out and go crazy sometimes, like that has changed. Like I guess, you know, getting deeper into my word and like really reaching out, God's changed my heart. Like I don't have the certain desires that I used to have. And so it's kind of cool, because it's not just like I'm trying to just be like, you know, force being a like discipline or whatever. It's just like I'm just cool with it, you know. And it's kind of cool. It's not always easy, like, but overall, I think the more and more that I keep going down this path, it's just rewarding, because I see the blessing coming from it too. You know, I believe in, you know, God. Like if you ask for forgiveness, is there, but it's like you know, I want to be better just for the sake of being better, not just because like, I don't know, you know, to get something out of it, I guess. So I don't know if that all makes sense, but I don't know if there's something else I was gonna say about that too, but yeah. So it's cool. Like I feel like it's fueling me, but it's what it is, it's letting me be able to like approach this part of my career with like peace and contentment. It's giving me peace and contentment and joy, because I think it's easy like to just get wrapped up in all the stuff that really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like like you were saying, we live in a world where it is really hard to believe in something sometimes, you know, because yeah, I think social media is a big part where it can be, there's just a lot of there's a lot of good stuff out there, but there's also a lot of toxicity. And I think we're just, as human beings, we drift towards the toxicity a lot of the times. Like
Right.
it's just natural to only read the negative comments, you know, or just to like only say something bad, or it's very easy to gossip or to do the, you know, it's just like, yeah. So, but yeah, so just leaning on that and just focusing my eyes on things above, and, you know, things of, you know, that are not just this reality. It's like, it just kind of it just helps me deal with the ups and the downs a lot more.
Yeah, it's easier to realize how small your life actually is, and
Yeah.
that this isn't the end all be all. Like we're
Yeah.
just kind of biding our time, and
Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Right.
No,
And
it's
you know,
definitely
yeah.
cool to find that. Yeah, it's definitely cool. And it's a superpower too. I feel like a lot of people come in and they're like, I'm going to be this and I'm going to be that. And then when it doesn't happen, then it really throws you off your game. And when you're coming
Yeah.
in just zen and just being
Yeah.
in the present and not focusing too far ahead, then I think that definitely is a superpower going forward.
Yeah, and I think also just having your identity wrapped up in something that is like, you know, very vain. Like I think that's a trap, you know, because like a lot of it is vanity. And so it's like, you know, that's what like, you know, can pull you in the wrong direction and will make you, you know, compromise yourself, or like just so that you can have that feel good. And so, you know, just to feel good about yourself. But it's like, I have my identity, you know, in being a child of God. So it doesn't matter, you know, what anybody thinks about me, what anything happens, like I'm good. You know what I mean? But it allows me to, you know, just be the vessel and just be whatever it is that he wants me to be. So it's like, okay, use me. You know? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
No, that's great to hear, and it definitely shows in your performance. And I'm happy that you found that path.
yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
no, it can be a beautiful thing. Um, Angela and I were talking about The Ultimate Fighter last night while we were filming our podcast, and Angela and I think that it's time almost for like our 10-year reunion. So,
Yeah.
um,
Okay. That's a
I like
really
how
good
you lumped me
idea.
in. You're like Angela and I. Like I didn't say it was a good idea. I
we're
just
in
said
this
it was an
together.
idea.
We're in this together. But I wanted, I wanted
But
to
we
ask.
gotta have gear and we gotta have all that stuff. So we should all we should all train together.
Oh, that would be funny.
That's-
Yes, that would be fun. I didn't even think about training together. I
I
was
think
just
that would
like,
be
we're
sweet.
all gonna be on a couch, like Love is Blind, the little reunion that they do, the reunion show. We're all on a couch, and they pass the mic to each one, and they're like, "Why were you such a bitch?" You know.
Yeah. Yeah, for
uh,
real.
but I
So
think
my
it would be
question
more
was
healthy to punch each other.
Yeah, I'm
maybe
just what I'm saying.
more
We gotta,
therapeutic
if we
up
got some
front.
beef, we gotta settle.
Yeah, just put it all out there,
Yeah.
blood each other's noses, and have a
Yeah.
beer.
I think that would be sweet.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
What do
What
you
were you
think
gonna
your
say?
most fond memory or your biggest takeaway from being on the show was?
I would definitely say like I mean, there's a bunch of like fun moments. I think the last day, like after it was over, I remember we were all sitting around, and then like I don't know, did I spill the wine or something? I swear there was like remember that carpet that like
Yes.
we didn't
Oh,
do nothing bad to the house the whole time, but then just like right at the very end, the red wine just spilled all over the or the carpet. I don't even remember
They
being
were
that
they were
wasted.
done with the carpet. They didn't need it anymore.
They're gonna burn
Yeah,
it
but no,
anyway.
I'm trying to think of like what's like a. I mean, I definitely there's so many good memories like Noom and all the food that he used to make. Like
Oh
that was the best
yeah.
food. Shoot, In-N-Out Burger after the fights. Gosh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
Like,
got a better memory than me. You were young then, though.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
like, I
remember
don't
like
remember
trying to.
any of that.
Yeah,
And I was right there. Yeah.
yeah. I usually don't remember stuff either, so I'm kind of surprised. And then like I remember like trying to remember like songs to sing and stuff because it's just like all that time just like not having music or TV or anything like that. I did think I felt like the coaches challenge or whatever that thing that they do every season. I thought that was kind of lame, but
Yeah,
I
right?
agree. I
that
agree.
was a little
Yeah,
let down.
why
I was like,
trivia? I
yeah,
felt
I
like they
wanted
were
a
trying
duct
to make
tape.
us feel stupid. Like,
yeah.
yeah, we got all these girls. I bet they don't know anything. We're gonna make them do trivia.
Yeah.
I wanted to see something cool, like what didn't they have the water thing
Yeah, the
when
plunge or whatever. That was cool.
yeah, or
Yeah.
bungee jumping or something fun like that. They always do something
Yeah.
fun for another. We also had kind of a lame house. We only had one story. We had all
Yeah.
these bunk beds,
No
no
pool
pool table.
table.
I think
I wanted a pool table.
I think Jess is still traumatized because every time we go to a bar with a pool table, she demands to play. And I think it's just because of Tough not giving us
Dude,
one.
do you remember that big old cockroach that was like running around? Do you
No.
remember that? Oh man, I
No.
remember Felice, like it was like a big old, like I don't know if it was a cockroach or it was a beetle or something, but it was like I want to say it was like the size of my palm, like it was huge. And then like
Nice.
Felice took a big old rock and she just smashed it, and it was just so gross. And then like the cockroaches like ran around it and just started eating it. It was so
Oh my
Ah.
God.
Oh, y'all weren't there for that? That was
That's
crazy.
savage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the little green beetles. Like, we always see those, and I always feel
Yeah.
like it was like a little spirit coming in,
Yeah.
wishing
It was
us
my
good
friend.
luck.
He
And
would
like
latch
the
on my
hummingbirds
finger.
too.
Yeah, I'd always save them from the pool.
Oh, really? Dang, I don't. Yeah,
Good
I
karma.
do. The hummingbirds were nice though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
It was fun. It was good times. Good
yeah,
times.
yeah.
Maybe if they showed some of the good times, we remember them better. They only showed
I
the bitchy
I
know.
times.
know.
I felt like there was so much like else that was like, oh, this is gonna be shown, and like, yeah, none of what I thought was gonna be shown was shown.
You know
Yeah.
what didn't make the cut, but it was on one of the previews was when I changed Team Pettis to Team Penis.
I do remember that.
I was really proud of that because the
Yeah.
athletic tape worked perfectly with the font. It looked seamless. And they
Man,
didn't show
yeah.
it, but they showed it on like one of the next time on Tough 20. And then you saw it real fast. So I was like,
Yeah, and you're like, what? You're like
made the
waiting
cut.
for it.
I know. And they never did that
Dang.
episode. Oh
Yeah.
well.
Nah. I do remember actually like so the last day was actually really fun. Or the last fight, because I just remember like it being so long and just making it to the very like the last fight, and like all the other two fights were like super stressful for me, but then like fighting Randa for some reason it just wasn't like I didn't feel like that pressure for some reason, like, and I've always wanted to recreate that feeling in my future fights because I just was so ready to go home and I just didn't care what happened. So it's just like I remember looking at like planes flying by all the time, and I'm like, that's gonna be me soon, you know. It's just like going home. And then like I remember like in the locker room it was just like I don't know, at some point like we were just all having way too much fun in the locker room, like all the coaches, we were all just like hitting each other with like pads. I don't know what was going on, but it was just like I think we were all a little stir crazy too, and it was just
Yeah.
like, all right, last day, whatever. So yeah, it was yeah, I would say the last day was probably the funnest day.
Yeah, they say that's the best way to cut the tension and to you know, not burn yourself out before the fight is laughter. If you have
Yeah,
someone back there that's cracking you up, that's making everything light, and then you're able to turn it on right when you need it, as opposed to it being in the background of your head the entire time you're back there,
yeah.
because you're back there for hours, you know.
Well,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's a
I
lot of
mean,
energy.
and if you think about it, it's like every time, you know, I'm sure if we could all recreate um like the feeling of a sparring session just in a fight, like if we could just treat a fight like as if it was a sparring session without obviously being like, you know, too lackadaisical, but you know, we'd all be like super great.
Yeah,
We don't have like perfect performances all the time, you know. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely that definitely helps like cut the tension for sure.
Now, I still regret bringing Angela Magana as my corner woman for that.
Why did you do that? I will never
I
understand
I
that.
Oh
thought
my gosh.
stylistically it made sense because I was
Made
fighting
that a good
Carla,
idea.
and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, she's kind of short, wrestler,
Yeah.
grappler, something like that. Like it makes sense. I was a Muay Thai fighter. I didn't know what a wrestler looked like. Uh, and we're riding there, and she starts telling me these sob stories, and I'm like,
Oh
bro,
no.
like shut up.
Yeah.
Like, and of course I didn't say it, but in my head I was like, man, this is a lot.
You
This is
you
a
gotta be
little too
careful who,
much.
yeah, you gotta be careful
It's
who you
not who you
want.
want as a fighter in your corner.
Yeah, you know, I think keeping it light is the best medicine. So even if the person isn't exactly the perfect type of fighter that you need in the corner, if they like make you laugh, if they like have a good time, gas you up when you need it, then that's the best person. She can do
Yeah, no, for
that.
sure. Less is more for sure. Yeah, it's better to have somebody just like a blank slate than somebody just like, you know, bringing down the mood for sure.
Yeah, someone who knows
Yeah.
when to shut up, someone who can read the room.
Yeah. Was
Oh.
she on the Your Majesty stuff yet?
No, no,
Oh,
not
okay.
yet. That was after the show. That's when she
Oh,
got
okay.
her fan club and then
Yeah.
started
That
trolling
was so
people.
crazy.
And dude, that would be the one. You know how every reality TV show has that person that shows up like, "Oh my god, I can't believe she showed up." That would be the one everyone's like, "Yo, Magana
Yo.
came. Yo."
She's
Yeah.
not invited back. Sorry, she's not invited to my reunion. I'm sorry.
Well,
Not sorry.
yeah.
I've
Or
seen
just
her recently. She was
or
at
just or or
our
just
gym
invite
recently.
Cyborg to the party too.
Girl.
Ah, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
My God. Ooh.
Good times.
That was the three-piece and the soda.
Mm.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
Oh, man, that was
Uh,
the real one.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, we got to do that sometime. Let me
Yeah,
know. Let me know who's organizing it.
10-year anniversary is coming. I think it's December. December
December, right?
2024. That's 10 years.
We're going to
Dang.
It's
pitch
the
it.
tough
I don't know who to pitch
finale.
it to, but we're going to pitch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we could
Who
get
did
the
I?
guys that headline. Wasn't it Jeremy versus Oliveira or
Oliver.
something like that?
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can get them to
Yeah.
come too.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Yes.
Wanna do something fun?
Yeah. We're like, what?
They can run practice.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Or
Yeah, that'd be fun.
if we could get the coaches on there again, that'd be great. Well, I guess they would
Yeah.
have to be there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They're still
Yeah.
around doing stuff.
For sure, for sure. Yeah. Ooh.
All right. Well, it's in the books and we'll see you then. Do you have anything scheduled coming up? I know you had like movies and all this other cool stuff going on maybe a few years ago. You got anything coming up cool right now?
So I guess there there is like an offer for a movie actually on the table. I don't know if I want to do that though because well, I don't know. I'm still up in the air about it because
Oh, Straw.
and
Wait, this
so actually
article about that.
that I'm actually like a part of. I'm supposed to be, you know, helping like be producer for it.
Okay.
But there's
Ooh.
another opportunity that is like is a pretty good opportunity. It's just I don't know if man to be able to I don't know how like that's such a different thing. I feel like to be in a movie and then to like try to be training at the same time. So we'll see if that pans out. But other than that, I'm just gonna be getting ready for summer growing season here. So like obviously it's like it's still kind of like spring out here is crazy, but I could get my seedlings together and all that stuff, and then I'm gonna be starting a new beehive this year because my bees died.
Oh no.
Yeah. So excuse me. But so I'll be starting that, and then yeah, just kind of doing some house projects and kind of getting ready for the next thing. So yeah, if I could get another fight in like July or August, that would be great.
Nice. You can always get on the Hollywood meds that Conor McGregor got on.
Oh,
if you
God.
you just happen to be training for a fight at the
Dude,
same
Some
time
of the
as you're
things
shooting.
with USADA are starting to make sense after I saw him in that movie. It's just
Dude,
all
really, yeah.
connecting the dots.
Have you
Yeah,
It
he
makes
was
sense
super
now.
jacked. Ooh.
have you watched it yet?
No, I didn't, but I saw the previews and stuff. I was like, oh, it looks like he did a really good job.
Yeah. he was promoting the fight at one of Jess's fights. I forget which one, but
187.
yeah, they were doing weigh-ins, and before the
I
weigh-ins,
remember that.
yeah, he came and he was like, hey, it's Jake Gyllenhaal. Everybody make some noise. And like kind of promoting the fight and throwing t-shirts in the audience and stuff. And then he walks backstage and I'm filming Jess or I'm filming something. And then he walks by and I'm like, holy shit, what was that? Like,
Yeah.
He looked like a behemoth. Like he looked so big compared to the first time we saw him on Tough. He was this little guy. Like I was just like,
Right.
oh, this little guy
Yeah.
is a big deal, but he is insanely large, at least for the
Yeah.
movie.
And not just
It's
that, but like
crazy.
his hands are like huge too,
Yeah.
like his like bone structure is just
His
insane.
neck was like
Yeah.
out to
Everything
here.
is huge. Yeah.
That's how I'm crediting it.
Yeah, it looked like a tank. It was a tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta watch that. That's gonna be our next Two Straws project. Little.
Yeah.
I know. I think we have to have a little movie night. We have to watch that and The Bastard Son with
Yeah.
Frankie Edgar.
Yeah.
And I think there's one more MMA movie we have to
And
watch.
Straw.
Straw, yeah.
Yeah. When does that come out?
I don't know yet. Yeah.
Okay.
We're still like figuring all that stuff out. So
Who's playing the fighter again?
Yeah, don't know.
Wow, a great producer you are. You're fine.
Sorry.
That's not her job.
Names.
If you need some suggestions, I can send my reel.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we don't want to take any more of your time. Thank you for being so generous with it.
Yeah.
And you seem great. You seem like you're in a great headspace. And I'm really excited to see what you do in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for having me. And like I said, keep me in touch with the reunion.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
We'll let you know. We'll get that going.
Yes. All right.
Nice.
Well, have a good one.
All right, you too.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Congrats.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.
Dude,
The champ.
I love it. I love everything. I love how vulnerable and honest she was. And I love just seeing her success, especially coming off of our season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really nice to see. We're like the last of the group, honestly.
The last of the Mohicans, the last of Tough 20, man. Is it just the three of us? There's someone else, I'm sure. Well, no, JoJo just retired. Who else?
Felice retired. Yeah, Randa, I don't know what
I don't
she's
think
doing
she's
now.
fought since after the UFC.
Tisha.
Tisha's still around.
Tisha's still
Tisha
there.
and Carla.
There we go.
Tisha and Carla.
Yeah.
They just had babies. They're still here. They're still around. They just went and had some babies. It's okay. They're still around. We'll see how long they stick around though. That was Nina's little nail in the coffin. But other fighters have kind of soared after having a kid. So yeah, we'll see what
Yeah, I think
happens with them.
it's challenging. I've talked to Beck about it, and she said she thinks that it was a lot easier because she already had kids, so she doesn't know anything other than, being a mom and having had children like before fighting. But I
Yeah.
feel like it's so hard on your body. It's got to be a big a big adjustment, a big challenge to get back into it. But I mean, if anybody can do it, MMA fighters can.
Yep, we got them strong cores. Pop them things out like
Mhm.
a shotgun bullet. Pow! All right. who's my next fight?
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Two Straws. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.